Hey guys, if your brother had made you homeless, would you let him and his whole family move into your house when he's struggling? Honestly, I don't know if I would. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my brother's family move in after he evicted me years ago? Post by PeachyGirl18. Several years ago, I, 28 female, was living with my older brother Tom, 37 male, and his wife Karen, 34 female. I had just graduated from college and had a pretty bad job at the time and was struggling to make ends meet. Tom had a house with a guest room and he told me I could stay with him for a while until I got back on my feet. I was beyond grateful and made sure to help out however I could, cooking, cleaning, and buying groceries whenever I could afford it. Fast forward about 6 months, I finally landed a decent job and was able to contribute more financially. I was finally on my way to becoming independent. Around this time, Karen got pregnant. At first, everything seemed fine, but then Karen started dropping subtle hints that they need more space for the baby. The hints soon turned into direct conversations about how they need the guest room for a nursery. Tom assured me that I could stay until I found a new place, but Karen was clearly becoming more agitated by the day. Then, one afternoon, I came home from work to find all my stuff packed up and sitting in the hallway. Tom told me that Karen had decided that they need me out ASAP. No discussion, no warning. He tried softening the blow by saying they'd help me out with a security deposit on a new place, but it was humiliating and hurtful. I ended up couch surfing for a couple of months until I could afford a small studio apartment. It was a really tough time for me, both emotionally and financially. I'll never forget the feeling of being thrown out of my own brother's house like that. Fast forward to now. Tom's life has taken a bit of a turn. His business went under and they're having financial issues. Last week, he called me out of the blue, sounding desperate. They're being evicted from their house and have nowhere to go. He asked if he, Karen, and their 2 children could come stay with me for a few months while they get back on their feet. Here's the thing, I'm doing much better now. I have a good job, a nice apartment, and have been saving for a house. I can technically accommodate them. But the thought of letting them move in after what they did to me years ago just doesn't sit right. I told Tom that I need to think about it, and ever since, he's been sending me guilt-trippy texts about how family's supposed to be there for each other and how they have nowhere else to go. Even my parents have gotten involved, saying I should let them stay with me because they're family and what happened years ago is in the past. But here's the kicker. Karen hasn't apologized once for how they treated me. Not a word. She didn't even acknowledge it when we spoke on the phone. It's like they expect me to just forget about it and welcome them in with open arms. I'm torn. Part of me feels like I should help because they are my family. But the other part of me feels like this is karmic justice. So am I the a-hole for refusing to let them stay with me after what they did? Or should I just let the past go and help them out in their time of need? I was actually kind of on their side to begin with, like maybe you were staying way longer than expected, and then they had a baby on the way and need that room. But then they kicked you out with 0 notice. Yeah, nah, they're definitely the a-holes here. They should have at least given you 30 days notice. It's what you've got to do for strangers and your family. Next time your parents say anything, just agree with them and ask if they want a hand helping your brother and his family move in with them. In our next story, Obi has the best husband ever. She just can't see it. My husband is never jealous, and I'm growing resentful. Post by Time Travel Paradox. I'm 36, and my husband is 42. We've been married for 12 years and have 3 kids. He proposed 6 months after we got together and told me he knew by the second date. He is indeed very practical and rational. He's also very kind, caring and supportive. Just a really wonderful partner. Except for one thing. He doesn't get jealous, like at all. Oh, to have her problems. By that, I mean if someone flirts with me, he'll just chuckle and move on, sometimes leaving me to deal with them alone. When his friend's father spent the entire night of his son's wedding hitting on me, he just said, what a loser, and moved on. I even had an ex write a poem, post it, and tag me, and he still just said, wow, cool. And when I asked, how are you not jealous? He said, why would I be? I trust you. Last week I reached my boiling point. A month ago, there were some workers transferred to our department. Among them was my ex. We broke up amicably, he moved to a different country, and we kept very low contact, like a happy birthday text once a year. When I got home, I immediately told my husband, and he said, cool, and then started talking about something else. I snapped. Not my proudest moment, but I said, are you serious? I just told you that I'm working with my ex that I stayed in contact with for years, and you don't care? He said, what do you want me to say? I know you. I know you're extremely loyal. I know you'd never cross any boundaries. I completely trust you, so why would I be jealous? Now, I know I'd never cross any boundaries. We've never had that issue in our relationship. I'm crazy about my husband. He's the one and only, and I've spent my life showing him how much I love him because I really do. But I see being jealous as an expression of love, and him being so cold and indifferent is making me resentful, and I hate it. It just feels like he's taking me for granted. I'm hurt, and he's being more affectionate than usual, but I haven't brought up that argument again. How do I navigate these feelings? It seems silly, but I'm hurt. Update. I just had a baby, and someone told me that this is important. It might have added to my insecurities. I followed your advice and talked to my husband. I started by apologizing to him. He said, it's okay, but I just want to understand where this is coming from. So I explained. By jealous, I didn't mean him getting controlling or violent, or even throwing a fit. I meant I wanted him to show he cares enough to have a back off attitude when someone hits on me in front of him. I took him not caring as him taking me for granted and not loving me or finding me attractive. He was shocked. He laughed and said, how did you jump from me trusting you to not loving you? Yeah, he's kind of got a point. He then explained his side. He said a lot, but here's the gist. I don't get jealous because I feel like it's disrespectful to you. I don't say anything either because I keep thinking that you don't need my protection. But I see your point and I'll change that. But I'm not jealous because the notion of you betraying me is just so foreign. I know you. I know how much you love me. And believe me, that isn't something I take for granted. There were many instances that cemented my trust in you. For example, 1 month after we started dating, I saw you turning down a guy who looked like a friggin' movie star, and we hadn't even talked about being exclusive yet. I didn't even know he saw that. You stood by my side when I lost my dad. You sold the car you loved because I needed urgent surgery. Anytime you initiate intimacy, I'm singing inside. The sweet notes I find randomly in my bag, etc. The point is, I feel secure and comfortable. Do you have any idea how rare that is? I work with a lot of guys. I hear horror stories. Well, I'm there just excited to finish so I can go running back home to be with you. I asked him about how he feels when I sometimes get jealous. He just laughed and said, I always find it cute that you think I could see and be with someone else. I'm all yours, body, heart and soul. This man. He then said, I had an ex who kept flirting with guys and then eventually cheated. It was nerve-wracking. I was always on edge, anxious and worried. Now I'm at peace. So, me trusting you is me loving you and being at peace knowing that we can be oceans apart and I know you'll still respect us. But I can see how you've not been yourself lately, and I'm sorry if I did anything that made you doubt how much I love you. I'll work on that, I promise. Then he got to the part that I was avoiding. He said, given how I was raised, he isn't that surprised that I mistook jealousy for love. For context, my parents have been together for years, but should have been divorced years ago. It's a constant love-hate cycle. He suggested me looking into getting therapy. He called his mum and asked her to take the kids while we went on a date. We had dinner, then ice cream, and when we got home, I was laughing hard at one of his dad jokes, and he suddenly gave me a long hug and said, welcome back, love, I missed you. I melted. Right now, he's sleeping with his head in my lap. I wanted to thank you all for your advice, your kind, even harsh words. I needed them. To be honest, I'm a little scared of therapy because I know how ugly it's gonna get. But my family deserve to have the best version of me. So if that means slaying some inner demons, then I'll do it. So, I've been working on some changes for this channel. You'll see what I mean in my next video. I hope you guys enjoy the new version of Juicy Tea. See you there!